Hi, my name is Shannon Constantino, and I'm going to be giving my informative speech in an extemporaneous style. Some of you may have heard recently on the weather or on the news in the afternoon that there's been a couple of earthquakes recorded above Columbia area. Very small in magnitude. Nobody really felt them. They were just recorded and then they reported about it. But did you know that South Carolina averages between 10 and 15 earthquakes a year below magnitude of 3? Who would have known? I've never felt it. Historically, South Carolina has had 20 earthquakes in intensity V or greater. However, there was one earthquake that a lot of us don't know, unless you're a real historic buff of South Carolina. But we had a great earthquake in Charleston. This earthquake occurred in the AM on the morning of August 31st, 1886. Now you can imagine that most people were in bed. No one was out and about. So the damage, this was a catastrophic earthquake also. It ranged in magnitude of 6.9 to 7.3 on the Richter scale. That's something you hear about happening out in California. I mean, that's an earthquake. This was a very strong earthquake. More than 100 people were killed in this earthquake. Hundreds of buildings were damaged. The damage almost leveled Charleston. A bit of trivia that's noted in a lot of the information that I read was that in the surrounding areas of Charleston that over 14,000 chimneys crumbled with this earthquake. This earthquake is recorded as the largest in the southeast. Now, who would have believed that South Carolina would be the home of the largest earthquake in the southeast? Unimaginable. It's not something you attribute to South Carolina. Damage nearly leveled Charleston, which means there was so much damage that there was more damage than there was structure to the city at the time. The quake. Now these statistics were really strong. I mean, were really amazing to me. The quake was felt as far away as Boston, Chicago, and get this, as far away as Cuba. The effects of this earthquake were felt. Damage was recorded as far away as Alabama and Ohio. It's hard to even imagine that an earthquake right here in the low country would cause damage as far away as that. The financial cost at the time was estimated at $5.5 million. Now, let's fast forward to today. That estimation would be around $112 million worth of damage done to the area. Did you know that South Carolina is one of 16 states that has fault lines running through them? The fault line that affects our state, the fault line that affects our state is called the Rampo Fault. This fault runs between the Appalachian Mountains and the Piedmont areas to the east. This is where our risk comes from. So, now, when you think about South Carolina, you're not just going to think about hurricanes. You're going to think about earthquakes. And although it's not something that we as everyday individuals in South Carolina have to worry about waking up to an earthquake, this is something that could happen because the fault lines are there. As we know, these plates are moving all the time. So just keep in mind that we do run a risk of another earthquake here. We don't know when, and we don't know if it will happen, but it could happen. So that's my information for you. Thank you.